So less than a minute ago, we got prosecution calls LAPD officer as the first witness. Prosecutors call their first witness, Los Angeles police officer Israel Flores. Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Salvik is questioning Flores for the prosecution. Flores joined the LAPD in 2018. He's also a revisit with the Army before going to the LAPD. He worked for Securitas for 10 years. In 2016, he was working in security and Intercontinental Hotel in Century City. So let's look up this police officer. Let's see. Let's get a little bit of information on him. You know, we got to do it. So the first person up is Israel Flores. Open oversight. All right, let's see. Hispanic male. Unique identifier. The badge number is 43402. All right, he ain't got no oversight. I don't think he got anything on him. All right. So he ain't got nothing over him right now. Sergeant, 5 officers. Oh, wait a minute. Sergeant, 5 officers broke department. Oh, here we go. Here we go. First witness. First witness. All right. Spectrum News. So we're going to keep these updates going, but we're about to see what this damn officer, Sergeant, 5 officers broke department policy in fatal 2022 shooting, LAPD police chief says. Okay. So this is our first witness. Los Angeles police sergeant and 5 officers broke department policy when they opened fire last year on an armed man who refused to follow officers' commands, deleting them, a police commission found. The Board of Police Commissioners voted May 23rd to approve Los Angeles Police Department internal investigation into a fatal shooting of Rodolfo Torres on July 2nd, 2022, that found the officer's use of force was not reasonably or necessary. Los Angeles Police Chief Michael Moore said in an internal investigation report to the commission that 4 other officers who opened fire on Torres were within policy. 2 other officers who responded to the scene did not fire their weapons. On the day of the shooting, 2 officers were patrolling South Los Angeles when they came upon Torres, 30, who seemed to be under the influence of drugs and had a bulge in his clothing resembling a gun. Moore wrote, one of the officers believed to recognize Torres as someone involved in the illegal sales and manufacturing of firearms, the police chief said. One of the officers saw what he believed to be the butt of a handgun concealed in Torres' jacket pocket and ordered him to stop, get his hands out of his pocket, Moore wrote. But he ignored those commands and instead started walking away from them. The officers pursued him on foot for several blocks using a patrol vehicle as cover and called for backup, according to the chief's report. In trying to detain him, an officer shot him once with a hard foam projectile, and Torres fell to the ground and the gun fell out of his pocket. When Torres picked the gun back up, the 10 officers opened fire, firing 31 rounds at Torres within 3 seconds, according to Moore's report. Some officers told internal investigators they saw Torres point the gun, and then others said they saw him raise the gun. Torres was taken to the hospital where he passed. All right. Officers recovered a loaded 40 caliber pistol with no serial number and extended magazine. They also recovered another extended mag 9mm AR style pistol and a 50-round drum. Golly, a 50-round drum magazine inside a backpack Torres was carrying, the police chief wrote. Moore wrote that while he understood Sergeant Christopher Burke and officers Jose Rodriguez, Cal Bender, James Thea, Israel Flores, who is on the stand today, and Child Fillinger faced a difficult situation, and there were issues with Burke's command of the situation as a supervisor. There were other designated covered officers who were better positioned to address the lethal threat. Therefore, I have determined that Officer Rodriguez, Bender, Staya, Flores, and Fillinger's use of lethal force was not proportional, objectively reasonable, or necessary. So they're saying our guy Israel Flores was one of 10 who let that thing ring. God. Uh Defense. Here you go. Defense. Here you go. Flores. Hey, we already. All we had to do is just a quick Google search. It ain't no telling what information they got because they had these witnesses for a while. So Flores was involved in this shooting with 9 other officers. And during the report, they said it was non-proportional, objectively reasonable, or necessary to use a lethal force. Jeez. Moore also said in the report that Burke didn't need to fire his service weapon and should have stayed back and assigned clear roles to the officer. Hmm. The board noted that Sergeant Burke was expected to take an active leadership role and reduce the overall intensity of the incident, Moore wrote. However, Sergeant Burke appeared overly involved in Torres's actions, which seemed to limit his ability to effectively manage his personnel. So basically, they're saying that Sergeant Burke was supposed to calm everyone down, take control of the situation. He was supposed to stay covered. And they also said there was other officers that could have done it. But he didn't tell anyone, stand down, put your weapons down, or everyone to stay calm. They saying that Burke was just out there and Burke shot and everybody else got to shoot. The board of directors for the Los Angeles Police Protective League, a union for officers, said in a statement that the officers followed their training to try to keep the public and themselves safe. The responding officers fired their weapons because they saw the suspect raise his gun after repeatedly ignoring verbal warnings in English and Spanish to show his hands, and after other less lethal de-escalation tactics were deployed. The statement said, did they try to tase him, or they were just, hey, stop, 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 pow, pow, pow? Moore would now recommend discipline for the officers and sergeant if he suggests a lengthy suspension or dismissal of the recommendations will automatically go to a board of rights proceedings. The results remain confidential under LAPD's interpretation of the law. Copyright 2023. All right, so the first Israel Flores was in a shooting in 2022. LAPD. Wait. Okay, this is 2 different people. Well, let me see something. Los Angeles Times. I don't think this is him. Oh, they ain't gonna let me. Because this is from this year. Okay, this is a different Israel. Okay, well. So Israel Flores, we got his information. Let's see what the new update is. Okay. Officer says he was working security at the hotel when he got woman in distress call and saw Combs. Officer Israel Flores was the assistant director of security at the so he was the assistant director of security at the Intercontinental Hotel on March 5th, 2016, when he received a call saying there was a woman in distress on the 6th floor. He stepped out of the elevator and saw Sean Diddy Combs and the woman in the elevator lobby. Flores recognized the man in the lobby as Combs. He testified. When asked, Flores identified Combs in the courtroom as wearing a gray sweater. Uh, so All right, so here they are right here. Yeah, they're just going off of inner city press. So this is before he was a police officer. This is the footage that we seen is the one he was at in 2016. So he was the assistant director. So he was actually there and he seen Diddy in the hallway. Now remember, the defense is only going with we admit to the abuse, we admit to the wrong drug. So none of that right there is anything that's going to be used. But this is just a source that they're using as a witness that they actually seen it firsthand. So, this is going to sway the jury like, nah, I seen it. Cassie was abused, she was bruised. But again, that's not what he's on trial for. He's not on trial for domestic violence. So what kind of incidents did you respond to? Flores, all kinds. We had a couple of suicides there. We prepared incident reports, the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, and why. Would you attach photos to the reports? Yes, but not video. We did not have the password. All right. There I recognize Sean Combs. He is there wearing a gray sweater. What was your title? Assistant Director of Security. Let me show you a photo of the Intercontinental Hotel. It's shaped like a pyramid. Judge submitted. Okay, so oh man, I'm like a courthouse reporter right now.